Sri Lanka is home to many natural resources owing to its geographical location. However, it is no secret that the country's resources were mostly utilized by foreigners throughout history. Lead or graphite is among the many such minerals which are exported from Sri Lanka. Today, News First focuses its attention on the gradually depleting graphite industry.
1880. The local residents during this era discovered glossy mineral reserves while digging the earth in order to build wells and for drinking water purposes and sanitation purposes. It was a common sight when Muslim traders came to these villages during this era to engage in various trades. The villagers turned to these traders to recognize these different types of minerals. The traders who dealt in foreign trades had no difficulty in recognizing the minerals, and soon after, the graphite industry commenced in Sri Lanka. Arak Gammana was an area famous for graphite, and a Muslim trader who located several ores abundant with graphite commenced a graphite mine in 1847. The name Bogala was coined due to the mine being located in close proximity to a bow tree and a massive rock. During this era, 3 mines were founded under the names Punchi Bogala, Maha Bogala and Karandavatta. Based on historical factors, around 3,000 to 4,000 graphite mines were operating in the island during this era. This is proved by the fact that the Bogala mine is listed as the 3,851st mine in the country. This era, which saw 2 world wars, was considered the most prosperous era for the graphite industry due to the high quality of the graphite found in Sri Lanka. An annual load of 2,000 metric tons of graphite was exported from Sri Lanka for the production of weapons and ammunition. However, subsequent to this era, the industry took a downward turn. Out of the many mines, only the Bogala mine and the Kahatagaha mine remained. More details on the News First tour of the Bogala mine coming up on next week's edition of Weekend Primetime News.
Now, when one hears the word graphite, one may recall a pencil. However, due to effective management, the international community has achieved an advantage when it comes to this industry. In Sri Lanka, however, there's only a 1% demand for graphite. This is the second episode of the journey made by News First in search of this mineral located several feet below ground level.
The graphite industry in Sri Lanka had its highest demand during the First and Second World Wars. However, a gradual decrease in demand was experienced thereafter. During this era, an individual named Kathonis Bas alias Fernando took control of the Bogala graphite mine, joined the Punchi Bogala and Maha Bogala mines, and initiating the Bogala Graphite Company in 1920. The Karandavatta graphite mine was also connected to the Bogala graphite mine in the year 1947. The Bogala graphite mine, which was a private property of the Fernando family, was taken over by the government in the year 1971. Subsequent to the government's acquisition, the Bogala mine was called the State Graphite Corporation. However, it was renamed as the State Mineral Development Corporation in the year 1979. Since 1991, 51% of shares of the Bogala mine was with the government. However, in the year 2000, 89% of the shares was obtained by a German company. The Bogala mine currently belongs to a German company. This mine could be located after travelling 5 kilometers from the Kumarapriya junction along the Abhisavila-Kegol main road. Incidentally, this is the largest active mine in the country. At present, there are 195 employees at the Bogala graphite mine, despite the fact that there were thousands of workers when it was a state asset.
Right now, I am preparing to go below the Bogala graphite mine, which is the largest mine in Sri Lanka. Deputy Mine Manager Saliya Gunasekara is assisting me in this task. We will go down and try to uncover more information.
The main mining location at the Bogala graphite mine is situated 476 meters below ground level. Tomorrow, we will brief you on how these mining activities are carried out at this world-famous graphite mine.
Well, News First has been in the forefront reporting about stories in every nook and cranny of the country that affects your life. Arundhati Fernando joins us now from the newsroom to tell us about such a special report filed by one of our field correspondents.
Last week we brought to you the history and the evolution of the Bogala graphite mine. This week, News First Manjula Premaratna has compiled a special report on the activities that take place there.
The elevator took us 476 meters underground through a passageway carved out of the rock to the bottom level where mining is taking place. The mining shafts, which have been dug 60 to 60 feet so far and are continuing to be dug, can be seen at the bottom of the Bogala graphite mine. The mine, which is surrounded by darkness, has been lit by a few light bulbs which can be seen in several places. The only resource in the possession of the miners to rid the mine of its darkness is a light bulb with a lifespan of 8 hours. News First cameraman Varuna Sampath was able to capture these clear visuals of the mine despite the darkness which hindered our endeavour. Apart from the sounds of the electric elevator and the breaking of the rocks, the only noise that can be heard inside the mine is the sound made by the pipes which supply air to the miners. It is the main task of the labourer closest to the elevator to manoeuvre it accordingly. This is what is used for this purpose. Based on instructions, the necessary labourers, equipment and accessories are supplied to the mine. After travelling 476 meters underground, we passed another 150 meters through a mine shaft to arrive at the place where further mining was being carried out. We also arrived at a place where preparations were made to blast a graphite ore.
We dig 1 meter long boreholes in the areas marked in white and blast the mine. Then we move forward and complete our work.
This is the result of the dedication and hard work of the mine workers. The graphite and the stones are then carefully separated and the pure graphite is loaded onto carriages.
I am standing at a mining location which is similar to the heart of the Bogala mine. Its specialty is that this place is located 300 meters below sea level. This is the valuable graphite which is found on our land.
Next week we will bring you further details of what happens after these carriages, which bear over 1,000 kilograms of graphite, are taken up to the surface.